be sharing the Relive Business Success Training with you all this morning. We have some great guests. We have some fun things to talk about, and I'm looking forward. So let's get started. First off, here's me. This is what I look like in a picture. I'm a presidential director for Relive and a member of the Hall of Fame. I live in Dayton, Ohio, and I started in the Relive business in 1990. I was looking for something to make me feel better. I was going through some difficult times in my life. I was the mom of 3 small children. The last one was only about 9 months old. So I was really searching for stuff. Friends introduced me to the Relive products just after my husband and I arrived in Dayton, Ohio for a military assignment. He had just made lieutenant colonel, and we had been transferred here away from all the friends and family and anyone else that we knew in the Washington, D.C. area. So it was a little bit of a change up time, but I was used to that. What I wasn't used to was just not feeling good. I was tired all the time. I was 39. I was looking for some answers for energy, and this product really provided. And my friends introduced me to Relive, said that it made them feel better, and it did the same for me. Within 3 weeks, I was more focused, alert, aware, awake, a better parent, I think, already. Within 3 or 4 months, I had stopped having a lifelong sinus condition, no longer having sinus infections all the time and running to the doctor for antibiotics. And I went through my first winter without that. Unfortunately, around about that time, I learned that my husband was going to be leaving. He was not interested in staying married to us, and it was a difficult time. It was an emotionally down time, as you would expect. And I just relied on the Relive products so much during that time. But I had started into the business to get product for my family in South Carolina. Sent some product to my mom and my sister, and they had gotten some results, and some friends had gotten on the products. And I had made my way up to the master affiliate level and was seeing a small paycheck come in, a few $100s a month. And it was valuable to me. It meant that I could pay for my own product, and it was just a sign that there might be something, hopeful for me out there. As things rolled on, I got more involved in Relive just for the community of people. There's one of the most important things about this is the community of people that you grow to love in this business. So I was thrilled with being involved in that community and being able to have a distraction there from everything that was going on in life. But I met my husband Les through that community. We married and blended a family of 5 daughters, and that was 1994. And at that point, I decided to take Relive seriously. I started devoting about 10 hours a week of my time to the business around the family schedule, basically just doing the things that I'm going to talk about today, just sharing with people and seeing what their interest was. And within about 6 months, the income had gone to a steady $2,000 a month. Within 18 months, it was over $8,000 a month. I became a presidential director. Les joined me in the business then wholeheartedly because it had replaced his income. We've traveled the world with Relive. We've earned significant income, but it's changed our lives, and that's the thing you need to know. It isn't the dollar amount so much as what it does for you. And what it did for us was pay for all the expenses of all those girls, from braces and prom dresses to college educations and weddings. And here we are now with 5 daughters, fully launched, in their 30s and early 40s, all of them gainfully employed, all of them owning their own homes, all of them participating in life fully, not hampered by student debt, and also living with a vision of what you can do if you set yourself up to do it. If you want to have your own thing and really perform in life, you can do that. And all of them know that, and they're very entrepreneurial. And I think it's because of us and because of what we did with Relive. So let's talk about it. First off, it's your business. This is a decision that you make, and you don't just make it once in a while. You make it, all the time, every day. When you wake up in the morning, you're making a decision again to be part of the Relive business and to really make it your own. Leaders are positive. Leaders take action. Leaders make appointments, sponsor people, and practice integrity. That's really what we're asked to do in Relive. Meet with people, get them all the products are in the business. When you sponsor them, you do it wholeheartedly and you do more than just have them sign an application. And then you practice integrity. You really are constantly shining the light on other people. And you, of course, are a product of the product. Really what you're about and what we're going to talk through is building your team of people who are going to be part of your life. Benefits of your business, of course, there are benefits. There are tax benefits. Of course, working from a W-2 is working for a person, a company, being beholden to someone else. Living on a 1099 means that you're being paid for what your work ethic is, and you are really independent. You're doing a lot of things. You have a lot of deductions from the taxes that you have to pay. But mostly you really are setting yourself up to work your own hours, work from home. You don't have any overhead. You have very low startup costs. It couldn't cost less to get involved in a Relive business. You can you get turnkey company support. There's so many tools now and so many things that they're doing. It's just a very exciting time to tune into those support functions that Relive offers. They track your business for you. They help you with orders. They help your customers with orders. They help your distributors with orders. They do everything they can to make it easier for your people and you to have the products on hand, to have the right marketing tools. They're planning events now. There'll be a virtual conference, and next year we're promised there'll be an in-person conference again, which we're really excited for. Keep the business simple. There's really only three things, and if you remember the 3 Ps, that can keep you on target and focused. It's always going to be about people. It's always going to be about products, and it's always going to be about your processes. If you get those 3 things right in your business, then you have growth. We know we have fabulous products. We know we can teach a process that works. The problem may be finding the right people. And that's another thing we want to talk about today, because the right people means everything. If you're always bringing in new people to Relive, you will succeed. And not all of them are going to become your partners. Not all of them are going to become the right people to do this business, but the right people to take the product, the right people to get involved and get, become wholesale consumers. Those are all things that people can do. But you want to create what we call here a living list. And that's a list that's ever changing. It really is always something you're adding to. And I've gone through phases in my business of almost over 30 years of thinking that I'd run out of people to talk to. And then you realize, you're just in a new phase of your life and there are different people to talk to now. So what do these people need? That's your job to find it out. Do they need more money? Do they need better health? Well, everybody needs both of those usually. For a lot of people these days, they need a better work-life balance. And I've read many things recently that say that the work-life balance for people has been virtually destroyed by the pandemic because people are living and working in the same space. They're raising their children and they're doing their job all at the same time. Many times people are homeschooling their children while they're working a full-time job, and their spouse is sitting across the room trying to do the same thing. What about retirement? Can they ever retire? Who knows? But you can build a Relive business, and I'm living proof of it, that will provide for you in your retirement the way nothing else can. Do they just need community? I think we need community these days more than we've ever needed it. Flexibility is a big thing, and a lot of people are out there looking for a way to get fit. So what is it for that person that's on your list? The only way you're going to know is if you listen. People will tell you what's on their mind. They will tell you what they need, and they will tell you how to treat them if you listen to them. You might ask somebody in your life, but you might start by asking yourself, what is it that keeps you up at night? What is it that you think about when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning? People are about connection. So you have to be constantly connecting with this list and growing it through all the different means and mechanisms we have today. You can call people, you can text people, you can interact on social media, and you can meet with people personally. and all are viable. We all tend to think, oh, this is a social media business now, and I don't know how to do social media, so maybe it's not for me. I don't know how I would meet people. And then someone comes along and does the entire business with tremendous success, like Andy and Chrissy Pierce just did in the last 2 or 3 months. And they did it all personally without a single social media interaction. So nothing is off limits. If you want to do it all personally, you can. You want to connect with people by going to their house and sitting down and talking with them, you can do that. If you want to do it all on social media, you can do that. There's just never been a time when it's more fluid and more open for you to do things. Referrals, who do your prospects know who might have needs? Basically, the people that you're talking to are a great source of more people to talk to. And why wouldn't you want to talk to them as a team together if they decide to get into the business? So it's all part of that process. Here's our 5-step process. It's called ICSAR, which is an acronym for Identify, Connect, Share, Ask, and Register. So we're going to go through that in a little bit here. And that's pretty much the heart of training of what you do. Set appointments to share the Relive story with videos, personal presentations, online presentations, do a Zoom, whatever you need, do a Facebook Live. All of it works. Hey, throw a party. Lots of people do this business still by throwing parties. Small parties in your home are a great way for people to meet real people and know how to do the business and know what the products are all about. The art of listening is important. At a party and an online presentation, anytime you're doing it, you're not just about projecting. You're about letting people, again, tell you what they want. You can show them how the picture of Relive might fit for them, but you can't do it if you don't know where they fit in that picture, where they want to fit in that picture. If you're going to have connections with people, then this has to be about stories and having fun and letting people see who you really are. They want to see your passion, your belief level, and your excitement. We've always said they buy you before they buy the product or the business. With the products, we have a whole idea of keeping nutrition simple. We just added a product this week. I hope you saw that. I hope you watched the video because it was really cool. We added Kids Now 1, which is 1 gram of sugar rather than the normal amount that's been in the vanilla and chocolate. It's available in the vanilla flavor. And I thought Peter Griscom did a fabulous job in very simple terms explaining how a family might want to have both the 1 and the regular Relive Now for Kids on hand for their children. So watch that. It's outstanding. If you don't know where to find it, get with your upline, get with a company. It's on the Facebook page, it's on your app, and it's also on the Relive website. So I'm talking about these things. It's about the Relive materials that allow you to keep it simple. Because nowadays you can send back video on the Kids Now 1 to anybody in your life. And that's about a 3-minute video that's going to tell them what's new with Relive and let them know enough to see if they're interested. Whatever you send people to begin with should be very simple, straightforward, and all about saying where they want to get started. If you look at this product line, we don't see it as very many products. It's very concise. Everything's got a function. We all understand it. It's very good. But when you turn around and show that to a brand new person, they will be confused. They can look at it and say, gosh, where do I start? Do I have to take all of these? How many thousands of dollars a month is that going to be? They don't know. So you have to listen to their needs and you have to pay attention to getting them started on core things. We like to start people on the core nutrition. You build your own story by results, by getting results. We know that we always say this, move more, eat smarter, enjoy Relive, and that's how you're going to get fit for life. With products, it's about trusting the science of Relive. We have 10 US patents. We've had some more come through related to the CBD and lunasin suspension. It's just fabulous what Relive is doing to stay unique and on top of things. We have a lot of independent studies, but we don't prescribe things to people and we don't try to be scientists and we don't oversell them or push them. We let people see what we have and then fit that to what they want. The science behind Relive is very important, but we can't explain it nearly so well as basically Dr. Galvez can do it. And I can't always understand everything Dr. Galvez has to say. We have patented technologies. The Relive Protect I mentioned is extremely important as a newer product in Relive's product line. It's very effective. It merges a lot of cutting edge technology. We have the nutritional epigenetics and cellular health of LunaRich itself, which is the Lunacin product. And the Lunacin has now been suspended in very tiny particles called nanoparticles in the CBD hemp oil that we have. And that is part of the endocannabinoid system. So you put those two things together, a hemp extract with the Lunacin suspended in it, in the nanotechnology that allows it to really penetrate the blood-brain barrier and provide inflammation reduction and many other things throughout your body. So this is the kind of just an example of the kind of technology Relive works with. First part of this whole idea of doing Relive is your own story. It's so important, and it's important that you know other people's stories. You heard mine in a bit of an expanded version, but I'm just gonna welcome people that I've asked to share their health and their business stories with you today. We're gonna do it at once, and I'm gonna start with Luann Moeller, who's my dear friend here in the Dayton, Ohio area. So if Luann, if you would unmute and start your video and come on board, that would be terrific.
Okay, I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
My name is, you can? Good. My name is Luann Moeller, and I've been involved with Relive now for almost 20 years. It's 18 years. And the dilemma we had back then was, and I live in the Dayton area just like Joyce does, but my career was in the education field, private education, which does not pay very well. And my husband's a pastor. We were both teachers before he went into the ministry, and our dilemma was a lack of income. And I met Joyce where I was working as an administrator of a large preschool at the time, after being a junior high and high school teacher. And I really enjoyed the younger children better. So when I was there, we were at the point in our lives where our children were getting ready to go to college. And we had no funding. And our retirement guy said, you just have to let them do that by themselves, get their loans. And you need to take all this money you've saved for their education and put it in your retirement. So I was looking for a way to make more money, but I didn't really know it was going to be a product that would do that at that time. But I met Joyce and I got on the products, and I had been an exhausted mom of two teenagers at the time. And I used to have urinary tract infections and strep throat on a regular basis, was kind of ruining my immune system with antibiotics. And I had developed nail fungus in my hands and feet, and I was always tired. I took a nap every day. So I thought, okay, well, I'll get on these products, but then I'm going to get my money back because there is some great, guarantees on the business and the products. So needless to say, within about a month, my nap went away and I thought, wow, this is nice. And I thought, well, let me try the business. It had a 90% guarantee at that time. I believe it's better now. But I ordered a large amount of product. In my estimation, it went away in 2 months. So I realized it wasn't as much as I thought at the time. But we put our whole family on the products. Since I've been on the products, I have great energy all day long. Don't need that nap even after 18 years. But all those times I have not had one urinary tract infection, which used to be 2 to 3 times a year, plus strep throat. I've only had strep throat one time in 18 years versus at least once every year and before Relive. And I haven't had a UTI since. So it's really changed my health, my blood work, and I really appreciate that. But within about 2 or 3 months of doing this business, we were taking Relive for free on the work I was doing. And since then, we have taken Relive for free the entire 18 years we've been on the products. So the business then started growing. And within 3 years, we became ambassadors with Relive. And we got our kids completely debt-free through college. retirement looks like will happen now. And, right now we're kind of a little bit retired from Relive, but we're going to come back, I believe, once my husband retires. And it's been a paycheck ever since we've been involved 2 months into the business. So knowing that, our highest month was, I believe, $7,000 a month. And it's just been amazing to see Relive grow in our lives. We love the products and we love the business. And we will be doing it for the rest of our lives, for our health and for our wealth.
Thank you, Luann. It's joy to know you, and I'm excited to have you back and doing things again. And meeting your new customers. Now let's go to Oklahoma to Lyra Hoppus. Lyra, would you share your health and business story?
I'd be happy to. Relive is really one of the best things that happened to our whole family. I'm Lyra. I'm here from Oklahoma, as Joyce said, and my background is ministry. My husband, kind of Luann Moeller, my husband is a full-time minister. And we had just come back from the mission field when I heard about Relive. We had a lot of needs. We had health needs and we had financial needs. Health-wise, I had upper respiratory issues. 2 of our 4 children suffered the same, which would require the use of inhalers, over-the-counter medications, prednisone treatment. I mean, we really were running the gamut of medical help here. And it was because of my children that I began to get on Relive. I didn't know about the high nutritional standards that Relive used. I didn't know about just the record that Relive had in helping people. I just thought, maybe what if? But what happened, I started getting results with debilitating headaches, that would plague me almost once a week. Those became fewer and far between. And then my allergy symptoms started to become less and less. And lo and behold, with the doctor's help, I did not have to have any help with my breathing anymore. I got my children on the products. They got results with the same. And with the Lunacin and some of the functional formulas, all of my blood work, it stays in the excellent range. I am just so amazed at what these Relive products have done. I've been on the products for almost 20 years, and I just love sharing it with people. And I was so shy, being a preacher's wife, of sharing it with people. What if something went wrong? Relive never disappointed me. People got results with all sorts of things. Some people, even before I did. We had a financial need because we had just come into the United States after being gone for 10 years, no savings, living in California, and 4 children. And I needed to stay at home and homeschool, and Relive filled that need rather quickly. I made a decision to go to the top profit level. In fact, somebody who I didn't know even knew about nutrition, actually, she went to the top profit level, and that pushed me up. And I just am so grateful because I've never looked back since. It has allowed me to stay at home. It has allowed me to pay for my son's private high school education. My husband, we paid out $28,000 in tuition and fees in cash for his graduate degree in theology. All of this is because I had this little business of helping people, quote unquote, little business of helping people reach their goals. And incredibly, 20 years later, we are now heading into the retirement phase. Preachers don't get pensions. And we know that Relive is our plan A to supplement our retirement income. And I will never, ever stop sharing the hope that Relive has given me and so many other people in this world, and especially the ones that are in my family who just, I'm always so thankful for me sharing Relive with them.
Oh, you're such a beautiful person, Lyra. Thank you so much for sharing. And now, Sean Bergeron, would you come on and share your story with us? You've been on as long as I have.
Hi, Joyce. Yeah, what a common theme there. How everybody's, and my story's the same. It's a decision that changed my life for the better and has for many years. But that goes back. I had gotten into Relive at that time. I was in the accounting profession when I found Relive. I was in about $25,000 worth of credit card debt. I was broke, living paycheck to paycheck, and maybe even less than that. But I was looking for a business. I always wanted to own my own business. I always believed it was an American dream, but unfortunately for me, everything I looked at required capital, money. I didn't have any. Nobody was stupid enough to lend me any more money. So I was kind of stuck doing what I was doing. Then I ran into my cousin at a golf outing, and he started telling me about Relive, and I agreed to go to a meeting they were doing, a little meeting they were having at a conference room there the following Tuesday. And from the time I walked in the door, Joyce, to that meeting, I realized there was something extraordinary going on. And I heard stories just like you've heard today, migraine headaches, clinical depression, allergies, asthma, weight loss, energy, arthritis. I didn't have any of those problems at that time in my life, and I still don't, thank God. But I was fascinated by what I was hearing. And then they showed the business model, how you earn an income. And when I saw that, I realized I just found the business I was looking for. And primarily because it was something I could run out of my home, I could start it part-time, and there was no financial risk. There was no way to lose money. So I jumped in at that point. I had no sales background, knew nothing about nutrition. Found out I didn't need to, so I still don't. But there was people willing to help me, as you've been talking about here. And I took that free help, and in the first 30 days, I was able to sell $11,000 worth of product and profit $1,500 part-time. I got a little more serious about it after myself and my family got great results with the products. 3 weeks on the products, I started waking up to the alarm clock, first time in my adult life. Wasn't tired at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I lost 15 pounds the first month on the products without trying to lose weight. My brother-in-law got tremendous results, allergies and asthma. Nephew got off a drug called Ritalin for a problem called ADHD. My mom got life-changing results, rheumatoid arthritis, and all that did was build my conviction. I would have, I believed they would benefit. I just had no idea the impact it would have on their quality of life. I got a little more serious about it. In the first 90 days, doing the Relive business part-time, I made $7,000 profit. Though they hadn't replaced my full-time income from the accounting gig, I decided to take a leap of faith, and I quit my job, came home, started doing Relive full-time, and never looked back. Within 2 years, I was making $6,000 a month. By the end of the third year, it was over $10,000 a month in income. Then between year 3 and 6, and they told me this would happen, I didn't believe them. But my business spread from my kitchen table to 40 states, 5 foreign countries, none of it done by me personally. And by the end of the 6th year, my income had reached $20,000 a month for the first time. I've now had 20 plus years, 6-figure incomes. I have the most blessed and inexplainable life because of that decision. And I'll be forever grateful for 2 things. One, that my cousin Tom had the, the wherewithal and the experience in Relive to share this with me. But 2, that, I had the courage to take that decision and do something with it. And because it, like everybody said here today, this, not only the products, but the business opportunities changed my life. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, it seems like such a simple proposition that you can get involved with something that you can work from home and that it can change your life, but it can. And it can change others' lives as well, as you heard from these stories. I'm just grateful to have been the person who talked to Luann Moeller, for example, first, and shared with her what I knew. I'm also grateful that she, like Sean, had the courage to listen. And you never know who you're going to talk to, who is going to have that courage, who's going to have that desire, who's going to want to do something more. This is about growth, and it's going to come to you in the business. It's going to come to you in your health. It's also going to come to you in your personal life. So it's about being in a constant state of learning. And I think that is what you do when you're in this business, because you're always learning about people. So let's talk a little bit about ICSAR. It essentially starts with the word identify, which I'm flipping through this, sorry. It's identify, connect, share, ask for a decision, and register and go. So the process of learning to identify people who want to hear about Relive is pretty interesting. But it's also a process of sharing the compensation plan with them. You've got to learn how it works and go with the flow with that so that people understand not only the process of talking to people, but the process of making money, because that's what your compensation plan is. When you become a Relive distributor, you sign up to be in this business, it still costs $40 and it has an annual renewal of $40. And you immediately put yourself in position to earn retail profit, because whatever your profit level is, that's the amount of money that you're going to earn. So if you're at 25%, which is a great place to start, then you're going to earn 25% profit on any products that you sell to a retail customer. They can become auto ship customers. You might earn a little bit less profit on their business or on their purchases, but you will be earning more consistent and long-term profit. So they may become distributors, at which point you'll start to earn wholesale profit, which is the difference between their profit level and yours. And then as they get to this top profit level we talked about in our stories, you start earning what's called overrides, which is how you build the kind of income that Sean and I, Luann and Lyra, have enjoyed. It's a long-term income that pays for your life. So let's look about that a little bit more closely. The wholesale profit is 5 to 20%. That's you sponsoring somebody who comes in at the 20%, 25%, or 35% level. You're going to earn the difference between you and them. As they climb this staircase, it takes volume to do that, and they reach the top profit level. You then start earning this override calculated on the group or the team that they create of distributors, retail customers, wholesale consumers, those people who are on auto ship. They start generating that volume as master affiliates, and you're going to earn percentages based on whether you sponsored them directly or whether it's someone that they sponsored who has become a master affiliate and broken out of their group. And this goes down for 5 levels. Relive pays you for bringing people into the business. They pay you for bringing other master affiliates into the business handsomely. So remember, you're paid for bringing customers in at retail. You're paid for bringing distributors in and wholesale consumers in the wholesale income. And you're paid for bringing master affiliates into the business with override income. You then have bonuses and other forms of income, just different like promotions and things that Relive does that allow you to earn extra income. Why are you here and where are you going? This is a good question. You're a distributor and you're looking at this and saying, what do I want to do next? You have the ability to achieve director, and that's by sponsoring your first master affiliate. So when you do that, you start earning your overrides. What a great thing. When you're a key director, that means you have combined earnings from override, wholesale, and retail profit of $1,000 in a single month, or you've done a volume of 20,000 in personal group point volume. You get a pen, of course, some jewelry, but you earn a $500 bonus. Senior director is where you can start also qualifying for the Global Ambassador Program, and you have a combined earning from overrides, wholesale, and retail profit of $2,500 in a single month. You have a senior director pen and a $1,000 bonus. Master director, you have $4,000 in a single month, and that's from all forms of income thus far except for bonuses. And you receive a $2,000 cash bonus. Presidential, again, all forms of income, you receive a $4,000 cash bonus. You can reach the global ambassador level, which we're not going to talk about a whole lot here in this slide presentation, but that's an important level. It reaches an ambassador level that's a little bit different than when some of us who said we were ambassadors have reached that in the past. This is kind of a new program. And as a global ambassador, there are trips, there are promotions, there are things that you can earn and do. And you reach that by fulfilling some requirements, one of which is to be at the senior director level 2 months in a row. So the process of building your team. Your business grows when you add these team members, and you want to add both. You want to add both customers and distributors. This is a customer-driven business. And so the first promotion in Relive, Promo 1, which comes up a little bit later in this program, is all about retail customers. Having retail customers buying product consistently keeps you earning bonuses, and the bonus for that Promo 1 is free product for yourself and your family. And you can build your team based on purely customers, but then you're not building the long-term business of or long-term income that comes from having that organization that's growing, that as Sean talked about, is spreading from your kitchen table around the world and creating income while you sleep. So that's sustainable business that comes from building both customers and distributors. Teaching people to build both customers and distributors is huge. And you do that by staying plugged in so that you know what's going on and keeping them plugged in. You have meetings, trainings, special events. You have podcast, e-blast, social media, website. The engage webinars that Relive sends out. There just was one Tom Pennick did this week that you should check out. The mobile app, all of the things that track your business with the distributor suite. I'm mentioning again the engaged video and the story calls. We have the positively charged group that I have a slide in here about that, but that's a huge part of it. Right now, preferred customers can save 20% and get free shipping on the products. They have a minimum order of $100 and they can become preferred customers and auto ship their product to them monthly or quarterly. The top 3 bonus is still in effect. The top 3 in new volume this month earn $3,000, $2,000, and $1,000. You have to have a minimum of 10,000 in group volume to qualify. And you can learn about all of this in more detail and more up to date on the Relive website. It's you can earn an extra $1,000 bonus if your volume is 1,500 in 15,000 in that calendar month. So I talked about promo 1. Promo 1 is product credit for 5 customers and $200 product credit for 10. Promo 2 is a $250 bonus for 3 quick starts, and promo 3 is a $250 bonus for each new master affiliate. If you remember, I mentioned the global ambassador team. In addition to having the requirement to have $2,500 worth of income 2 months in a row, you also have the requirement to do the promo 1, 2, and 3 once during the year. And you don't have to do it all 3 at the same time, but you have to do promo 1, promo 2, and promo 3 one time during the year to be a global ambassador. This is the positively charged momentum starter system that we mentioned. It's a weekly webinar and conference call schedule, and basically a team of us do the Monday night calls. Those are story and training calls and also recognition. And I'll be doing that this coming Monday night. My guest is Mindy Meyer from here in Ohio. She's going to be talking with me about how she's having success doing the business through social media and what she does with those people as she brings them on board and teaches them this business and teaches them about the product. So I'm really excited about that. There's a different guest every week, and I do the first Monday of the month, and other ambassadors for Relive do it the other weeks of the month with different guests. Tuesday night, someone who really knows about Relive, some of the top Relive people, do a 7:30 Central Time Health to Wealth introductory webinar. It's just what it says. It's an introduction to Relive. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes. You get at least 3 to 6 stories, and you hear about how to, you show somebody what Relive is. And you can bring guests to that. You can have as many people as you want sign into Zoom and see that. It's a lovely ambassador presentation. Wednesdays at 10 a.m., you have a coffee chat webinar. This is a camera on morning. It's lots of fun. Usually Mindy Jones and Michelle Nesbitt, I almost messed up their names. Mindy and Michelle get on and just chat with people. And you can have all the guests you want coming on the Zoom, and they will hear a couple of weeks ago, they had a medical coffee chat with people in the medical community getting on to share about their experience using Relive. So cool stuff. Thursday nights, you have a short and sweet story call, and this is a quickie. This is a 15-minute blast of health and business stories that you won't want to miss. And these all are recorded and are available for 1 week, as is the Saturday training, which you know about because you're here today, the Work to Wealth training webinar. And this features ambassadors doing a basic training of the business, and generally it's about an hour long. There isn't any cure or breakthrough or magic bullet that creates a solution that allows us to build our business. It all goes back to this XR idea, which I flipped through those slides and didn't really intend to do it that fast. I thought I had more detailed information, and I just must have, who knows. You know how technology works. I probably blotted out those slides and didn't mean to, but talk about that for a minute, because I think it is the magic bullet that you have. The idea that you're going to practice that on a daily basis, that you're going to identify people and you're going to go talk to them. And then you're going to share with them what Relive is all about if they're interested. And then you're going to ask them what they think. Ask them for a decision about what they want to do next. You're going to act on that. The A can stand for ask, but it can also stand for act. So you're going to act on that decision that they make. And then you're going to register them with Relive as your customer or as your distributor, and you're going to follow through with that. That's what the go is following through. You're going to go to work with them. That's the magic bullet. And it sounds like work. It is work. It's more work than it sounds like, because people are people. Luann, who is on here, coined the term for me years ago. People are peopleish, and they really are. And so that's your work. That's your magic bullet. The answer to moving forward is the same one that holds you back. It's daily actions compounded over time. A lot of people don't want to take those daily actions. They don't understand that the value of the actions is compounded over time. But that's just the bottom line. If you don't take the daily actions, you're not going to have the compound interest that comes from them over time. And if you want to accomplish anything, you want to achieve a dream, I'd say the first thing you have to do is figure out what that dream is. Maybe what resonated with you about anything you heard when you first got involved in Relive. And then how can you go back and get in touch with that? Because to achieve success, you don't have to do anything that's crazy weird or superhuman. You do not have to become Batman overnight. That's Tom Pennick. But you have to do something. You have to do something on a daily basis. And if you do, this is what's going to give you this idea. There's a book written about this called The Slight Edge. But it's about incremental stuff. And if you do that incremental stuff, then you have a long-term improvement. So every single person you talk to teaches you something. And the problem is you don't learn anything if you don't talk to anybody. You also don't build a business if you don't talk to anybody. So let's talk about these actions because I think they're important. And this is just my own little feeling that you really have to be thinking through. What does it mean for you? I'll ask you this question. What does it mean to show up? If you're looking at your life this coming week, what would showing up look like? Showing up to Relive. We don't have Tuesday night meetings in most places anymore because COVID and the internet combined sort of put that out of the picture, at least for a while. Maybe we'll get back to it, who knows? But what does showing up mean? Does it mean making another phone call? Does it mean talking to somebody you've been putting off talking to? Does it mean attending all the positively charged functions this week with a guest? What does it mean? You get to define it, but nothing's going to happen until you do it. And then being consistent, this little actions over time. What does that look like to you? What would consistent look like to you this week? When I looked at my life 30 years ago, I didn't know how to be consistent about it because I was in turmoil and upheaval. But when I decided 4 years later to really take Relive seriously, I had to look at what does being consistent mean? For me, it meant that I would spend a certain amount of time every day doing what was in front of me. At the time, we had Thursday night phone call that started at 7:30. It was all stories and it was replayed every hour on the hour. It lasted about 20 minutes. I made a goal that I would be on that call every Thursday night with a guest and try to be on every hour on the hour with a guest until the last call. Well, that made for a pretty late night for me, and it was my big work night of the week. I also made a commitment that I would show up to Tuesday night meetings with a guest. So I made myself a 10 to 15 hour work week out of those two events and the Saturday training that we had. So I was going to go to that. I was going to bring a new person. That was how I built it. So nowadays, you aren't just limited to 3 in-person things that you can do. You're limited to something that you can do every single day. And if there's not something going on that you want to, at a time when you want to do it, you can create your own Zoom or create your own Facebook Live or however you want to do it so that you can have a consistency that works in your life, because it's impossible to be consistent with things that don't work in your life. So think through that. Also think through your attitude. Do you want to be the person who brightens a room when they come into it or when they go? Which one? Because that attitude thing will color everything else you do. Showing up and being consistent with a bad attitude won't work. So having a good attitude really requires you to assess some things, to take a long look in the mirror. Maybe you have a bad attitude because you've been around Relive for years and you got disappointed about something and you don't even realize it, but it's held you back. Well, it's time to get over it. As someone famous in the network marketing industry once said, you have to find a way to build it anyway. Whatever it was, whatever it is, you have to find a way to build it anyway, in spite of that, or maybe even because of it. But having a good attitude actually means getting over stuff and just adjusting your attitude to fit what you know you need in your life. Then it's about commitment. Once you get those first three things straight, you're being there, you're being consistent, and you're having a good attitude, then it's about time. And it took a long period of time for a lot of us, 2 years for me to get from a $500 a month income to a $10,000 a month income. So it was a period of time commitment that I could have quit anywhere along the way. But no one would have paid for the girls' college educations and weddings and everything else. So your goal has to be big enough to make you be willing to be committed for that period of time. And then it's about faith and desire. It is about Relive becoming the thing that keeps you up at night and that you think about at 3 o'clock in the morning when you wake up, and that makes you get out of bed and want to go to work. Paying the price. And I love this statement, neglect is more costly than commitment. Basically, I had to be willing to pay the price of having that 10 to 15 hour a week work week. Now that doesn't seem like much, but it meant that I had to tell my children, all 5 of them, if you want to participate in an activity and it occurs on Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, the Tuesday or Thursday night or Saturday morning, then you're going to have to find a carpool and I won't be able to be there. That's the price, because there's always a price. And that was the price that I was willing to pay. And I had to explain it to the girls. But what it meant was that I would be able to afford things that they wanted in their lives. Better school clothes, certain privileges, to get a car when the time came, all these things that you've got to afford in your kids' lives. They came from Relive, but I had to pay the price to get it. Bottom line on the last one is integrity is not something you just have, it's something you practice. It's something you do. So you do things that matter while no one is watching you do them. You don't do them for accolades or applause. You don't even do them for bonuses. You do them because they're right. And you practice integrity when in the dark, when nobody's paying attention except you, because you know that it infuses everything else, because none of the rest of this is going to matter if your integrity is bad. Eventually bad character and being unwilling to practice good integrity, that will all catch up with you. So it's just important. What are you going to show up to? What do you have that you could plan or do? What's already in existence for you? Figure that out. What are you going to show up to? Be present. And I'm not just talking about turning on a Zoom. I'm talking about being fully engaged and present. Being present is an important way of looking at how you do show up to life. It's not just being there, it's being a part of things. And really, unless you're present and you're focused and your mind is all there, we used to talk a lot about the fact that you could plan to be somewhere, but if your heart and soul was somewhere out of that room, say you're at an opportunity meeting or you're at a Zoom meeting and you have a guest, but your mind is on being back with your kids on some kind of soccer field or something that they're doing. You got to have your mind and your heart and your physical self in the same place. And that is really, to me, what being present means. Because the other thing works too. You skip the meeting because you want to be at your kid's soccer game, even though you already arranged for your husband or your wife to be at that soccer game. But you skip the meeting or skip whatever it was that you planned to do for your business because you wanted to be at that game. But you're not really present at that game because the guilt, your mind, your heart are back with all your Relive connections and knowing that you really wanted to use this time to build your business. It causes you to be conflicted. You can't be conflicted and present at the same time. That doesn't work. So I always tried my best to have my mind, my heart, and my body in the same place at the same time. To me, it was a core principle. Being consistent, doing it often, doing it all the time. It's the key to success. And it is that practice makes perfect things. If you're going to be your own boss, you better be a darn good one. And a darn good boss expects you to consistently show up. He doesn't want you to just come to work on Wednesdays. She doesn't want you to just come to work when you feel like it. It's all the time. And then the whole brighten the room thing, we already talked about that. And I know that if you're involved in Relive, you're going to have a positive outlook on life. If you do that plus taking the products is going to give you a longer, healthier life. The biggest thing about it is people with good attitudes are more productive for themselves and others. But this is what I wanted to talk about attitudes, because all through my Relive career and actually all through life, people will set out to discourage you. I don't know why. They're contrary in some cases. In some cases, they don't want you to succeed where they think they would fail. In some cases, people are just jealous and want to hold you back. In some cases, people are just trying their best to protect you. I mean, my dad wanted to protect me from the Relive business. And he was very embarrassed that I was doing network marketing because I'd had a fabulous professional sales career at one point, and he thought I would go back to that. He could brag about that, but he didn't know how to brag about a daughter in network marketing. It just didn't make sense to him. So he set out to discourage me from doing it every way he could. I had to decide, is that gonna hold you back, or are you gonna do it anyway? Like I said, are you gonna find a way to build it anyway? And I just knew in my soul that I needed this business. And so I did it anyway. You're not gonna hear yes from everybody you thought you would. You're not going to hear yes from the person who needs it the most. You're going to hear a lot of no's. It's just unfortunate, but it's the way it is. And you have to get through the no's looking for the yeses because they're out there. And if you let the no's discourage you, if I let my dad discourage me, he wasn't just a no, he was a discouraging, presence in my life. But if you don't get through that, then what are you going to do about offering Relive to the world? It's going to have to be somebody else, isn't it? And why would you want it to be somebody else? Also, people do gossip. They used to call Les and I Colonel and the Big Red because we were going to go for it. We were doing it. Not everybody likes it when you're going for it and you're doing it. And they like to gossip and complain and speak ill of you. And then some of these people were even people in our Relive business. You have to know that that's just going to happen. And you can't let it destroy your attitude. People with a positive attitude who show up and consistent prevail. They do. And the ones that are sitting there gossiping, complaining, discouraging, and whining, and all of that, well, they're just going to have to find something else to do. And once you find something that works, keep doing it. We have a tendency to find something that works and then decide we need to look for something else that works. Why not just repeat the action over and over again? Keep your attitude right and just keep doing it. Why do we think we always have to reinvent the wheel? If it works for you just to talk to people on a one-on-one basis in your life, then do that and just keep doing it and do it consistently and keep your attitude good. If it works for you to find a new thing like that new Clubhouse thing online or Instagram or, TikTok or whatever it might be, then do that, but do it consistently and with a good attitude, and don't give up on it. And don't just change willy-nilly. People are watching you for how committed you are to things, because they tend to judge your commitment level on all the things that they see you do. And it takes a lot of time for you to develop the belief system you need. If you commit to things that are manageable to do, then you increase your chance of success. And that goes back to what I asked you to think about what that looks like to you. Because if it doesn't fit your life, it's not manageable, you won't do it. And you want to know where you want to be a year from now, 2 years from now. When I started, I had no idea where I wanted to be, but it was about a year into it that I realized, whoa, if I'm already at $6,000 a month, I could be at 10 in just a few months. Where do I want to be next year? And I found myself, aiming for that $20,000 a month. Is everybody going to get there? Was there any promise whatsoever that I would get there? No, but I had to have a goal and a dream of where I wanted to go. Faith and a burning desire. What does that actually mean? It's the thing, gets you up early, keeps you up late, keeps you moving. Faith is about understanding there's something bigger than you out there. There's something bigger than what you're able to do, and that there's some magic and mystery to the combination of all these activities that we've discussed that can take you beyond just where you thought you were going to be. So faith is magic to me. Be willing to pay the price. I've talked about that enough. It's about investing in your future, and you're going to have ups and downs, and you have to give up something to get something. I can't change that, and neither can you. But if you're willing to give up something to get where you need to go, then you're in a position then to regain all those things and do the things. Like, give you a good example. I had to give up some of those things I talked about with my children when I was younger. But now, just last week, I took 10 days and drove down to North Carolina and spent several days with each of my 2 daughters down there. Did whatever they wanted to do, took them out to dinner and their husbands, went shopping with them, did all the things they wanted to do. And then I went down to see my 92-year-old mother and did whatever she wanted to do. Had I not built Relive, there isn't enough Social Security income in the world to make that possible. So giving up then to get something now was very valuable and important to me. Successful people do what unsuccessful people won't do. That was the old phrase, do what others won't so that you can have what others don't. And that's just the way it turns out to be. It's a law of life that a lot of people would like it to be different. It just isn't different. It's the same as it was when we began. It's the same as it's going to be forever. If you're wanting to be successful, then you have to do some things that unsuccessful people will just not do. Let's talk a bit more about integrity. Sometimes we practice good integrity when we're in the mood to do it, but the mood will leave you. And integrity is doing what you said you're going to do, even when you don't feel like it anymore, or even when something better comes along that may seem a little bit more advantageous to you, but it's not what you said you would do. Integrity is all about matching what you say with what you do. And it's little stuff. People don't understand how little stuff makes a difference in their entire quality of life, but it does. And consistency, when nobody's looking. You're the person this is about. Any of this stuff that you compromise actually hurts you. It doesn't hurt the other person because often they don't know it yet, but it hurts you the minute you slide. And it's tough. It's tough to stay in that integrity zone. It's just important, that's all. If you're making choices and we all are every single day, you're making right and wrong choices at any single moment. That's what has impact on your day. It's not very dramatic. It's not very, it seems so insignificant. I'm going to talk to that one person that's in front of you. You can either do it or not do it. It seems insignificant, doesn't it? You didn't mention it to that person you were sitting next to. You didn't mention it to the mom at the soccer game who was complaining about her menopause symptoms. It's not a world-changing event that you didn't mention it, but over time, it's a pattern of behavior and wrong choices that will ruin your business. So it's doing that. I keep saying it and saying it. It's that undramatic, insignificant stuff that changes things. And if you want to be productive, again, that's what it's all about. Doing the wrong things creates problems. Doing the right things creates success. If you're doing it wrong, stop doing it wrong. If you're doing it right, keep doing it right. And it may not be rewarding at the moment, but if you train yourself to only be accountable to yourself and ask yourself, was what I did today productive? Did it matter to my business and my life? What did I do today that was unproductive that I need to change? It's all about conversations with yourself. Do you have a philosophy of success? Are you willing to do these things? Are you willing to pay the price, show up, be consistent? Do you have the desire? And do you know where you want to be? The bottom line question is, do you want to have you as a distributor? But the real bottom line question, the focus of all the training is, who are you going to speak to about Relive today, right now, right after we finish here? This is just a short training, but I hope it's made you think. Who do you want to talk to about Relive today? I'll let that stay up and sink in. And maybe Sean will stop the recording and we can just say goodbye.
Awesome possum. Thanks, Roger.